Scott Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome to it. Good morning, Americans. It's Monday.
Yay.
Yay. Yes. Yes. Start of another work week. Couldn't be more excited.
Right?
Two sweetest words put together in the English language. It's Monday. Am I right? Who's with me on that?
Is that a scientific fact?
Yes. Yes, it is. You can't even dispute it.
Okay.
888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Boy, what a world we live in. What a world. We're going to get into the COVID thing, the rioting, chaos.
Oh, it's a good time.
It's a fun time. And Kamala Harris's thoughts on some of that are really wonderful. Really, really wonderful. Think you're going to like them. I think you'll like some comments from Joe Biden on Anderson Cooper. Oh, it made me feel so good. Early in the morning when I saw that, I was just, it was fun. All right, but we have a brand new bingo card. It's our last bingo card for a while because we transition to more on trivia next week. Mm-hmm. But we start in the upper left-hand corner with this. NFL Films music. On the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, the warriors gather for battle. G, your hair smells lovely. I think it's G, your hair smells terrific. But is that something we've said a lot?
I don't know.
I think just the once, right?
Was it a Joe Biden thing? Reference?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe it is. Then we have this wonderful clip from Joe Biden.
Are you a junkie? What do you say?
Are you a junkie? Asking a black man if he's a junkie.
Wow. But Trump's the racist.
Oh, right.
I mean, come on.
That's right. Don't you forget it. We got lying sack. Keith, help us.
Help us.
Something we haven't had for a really long time. A Bertation terrastation.
Oh, no. I didn't see that one.
I'm not sure that's even in the machine anymore. We'll have to try to find that again.
Okay.
Keith, using my inside voice out loud.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is next. Followed by another Joe Biden classic.
Come on, man.
Love that. Then we've got Despicable. That's almost a free square at this particular time and point in history. I love this from, of course, our friend Alex Jones. It's going to take a minute to get there, but
to feel what the children are feeling.
Right.
God Almighty. Folks, we gotta get good people to stand up against these people. I probably shouldn't have done this radio show today.
Or any day.
Because I have this disgusted cover for how I just hate the globalists, but it's more than that.
Well, what? Tell me.
And I just get flippant and angry, but it's because deep down, folks, I can see what they're doing, and we have a responsibility to stop these globalists.
Here it comes.
Where are the men in this country? Where are the men in this world?
Okay, so where are the men?
Does it bother you on that clip where he says we got to get good people to stand up to these people?
It does, yes.
He uses people too close together,
times. Yes,
right? Okay,
yes.
It's not just me.
No, it's not just you. That does stand out. Wheel of Cancel malfunction. That's
this thing? Never.
Yeah, never. Oh, look at that. It just
never.
That's not too bad.
Never.
Ish. Pat screeches, "We are not a democracy." Mike Tyson impersonate me, Mike Tyson. Hey, everybody, heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson.
That's crazy, Mike.
You look like an idiot.
Yeah, then that. You look like an idiot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Blood shooting out my eyes.
Oof.
Biden. Oh, I have this one, too. So we don't want to miss.
So many Bidens.
Yeah, so many.
Hopefully we don't have to hear from him after November 3rd ever again.
Thank you, Dr. Pepper, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pepper. Responding to Keith, who always says, my bad.
My bad.
Your bad what? Jeffy, so the science is settled? Yeah. Then another Jeffy agonizing. Throw out all the record books. Biden sings The Villages song. Mm-hmm. I could care less. Instead of I couldn't care less. And then this fabulous Al Sharpton moment.
I haven't heard this one in a while.
Which is really fun.
So in the words of my late friend Aretha Franklin, show some R-E-S-P-I-C-T.
Okay, oops. Can't spell respect. Darn it. Respect. Show a little respect, would you please? So great. Funny. I mean, we've had some fun over the years with these freaky leftists, haven't we? At their expense. And they think they're impervious to all that. They think that Bush and Trump are the only ones who screw up on a regular basis like this. When in reality, I mean, Obama screwed up probably more than Bush, and Biden certainly more than anybody, anytime, anywhere. So
that does not count.
That doesn't count.
Has to be Jeffy.
Got to be Jeffy, I guess. All right, 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Have you seen the latest information from the CDC? It is phenomenal. Thousands of, first of all, thousands of people were marching over the weekend in Europe. They're a little sick of this stuff. They might be even more sick of it than we are. They've been going through it a little bit longer, and now I think they just want to maybe get back to normal, perhaps. Apparently a second wave is happening there. But I guess 10,000 marched in London over being sick of this thing. They're calling it a hoax. Yeah. It's not a hoax. Obviously, the virus isn't. That looks like more than 10,000 people.
Yeah, that's a video out of Berlin there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that crowd.
They're over it.
Yeah. That is really something. Wow, that's a lot of people.
Good to see.
That is a lot of freaking people.
It even looks like they're social distancing from that shot, too. Did you see that?
Yeah.
They're like, all right, look, we'll give you the social distancing, but the mask stuff,
we're done.
No.
We're done on that. So, apparently this new wave that is happening supposedly in Europe is much less, I guess, violent on the body. It's not as potent as it was, not as many deaths, not nearly as many deaths. And not even as many people that get really, really sick. So it seems to have mutated a little bit and that's what they said. It's far more likely for it to mutate into something weaker than something stronger. And it looks like that's what's happening.
That's great.
And they're done with it. In the UK, 41,000 people have died, 331,644 infections recorded. I don't see the numbers for Germany, but they had quite a bout with it as well. And now they're just done. They just want to get back to life, just like we do here. Mm-hmm. And of course,
but it's an election year.
It's an election year.
So we have to drag this thing out. And
yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, Germany peaked on April 2nd, it appears.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
And does it say how many deaths or infections they had? Because I don't know that I've ever heard those numbers for Germany.
Gosh, let's see. Cases in Germany, 243,000. Deaths, 9,000. Oh, like America. So they had 9,363 deaths.
Almost exactly the same as the United States of America. Now, you might be thinking, no, we've got 161,000 or 181,000, whatever it is. CDC just posted 94% of all infections lived. Only 6% of the people, I'm trying to get this straight.
I think you're doing deaths, right?
Yeah, 6% of the deaths were people who died only of COVID-19.
Correct.
The other 94% had some other kind of extenuating circumstance, some other morbidity, some other thing that caused them to die. Only 6%. So that puts the total. Now, this is from the CDC. This isn't from Donald Trump. So that puts the death toll, according to this article, I read 9,000 over the weekend. This says 10,053 have died solely as a result of coronavirus alone. And I believe it's 80% of those. So 80% of the 6% were 55 or older. That is a staggering figure and puts everything kind of into perspective. So if you died solely from COVID, that was 9 or 10,000 people, not 160,000 or 180,000. And again, it's the CDC's data. So it's not like this is coming from some right-wing extremist group. It's not like Fox News made this up.
Man, I tell you,
that is amazing.
Destroyed our way of life.
Yeah. We completely wrecked our economy over it.
Destroyed childhoods, businesses, everything.
People have been scared to death. You think of the emotional toll of this, too. Businesses and emotions and families that, I mean, because they're staying home in close quarters for a long time, things happened. I mean, bad things happened. Divorce rates went up, which is pretty sad when you think, okay, so when you're stuck together, that makes it worse. Okay. All right.
Wow.
But the CDC listed the underlying medical conditions linked to the other 94% of deaths. And they included influenza and pneumonia, respiratory failure, hypertensive disease, so high blood pressure, diabetes, vascular and unspecified dementia, cardiac arrest, heart failure, renal failure, intentional and unintentional injury like poisoning and other adverse events, like motorcycle accidents, if you remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And there were other medical conditions, too. So all but 6% had some extenuating circumstance. That is unbelievable.
It's sad.
We essentially destroyed the American economy over that. Wow. Can you imagine if we did that every year when the flu breaks out? Because more than 10,000 people die every single year of influenza. It's in the 30 to 60,000 people range.
And folks like us were screaming, wow, look at the influenza death numbers. They are tanked. They're going down this year. I wonder why. Well, there you go.
Everything was blamed on COVID.
How many lives have been affected in a negative way?
Oh,
the rest of their
millions.
lives have been affected by this economy and by the fallout from this.
Millions and millions, tens of millions of people lost their jobs and haven't gotten them back yet. So
election year flu.
Wow, it's really a shame. I don't know. You can't get that back. And then, of course, all the people that are so angry now because you've completely taken away their rights and you've mandated certain activities for them, like wearing a mask wherever they go, and they resent that a great deal. If I want to wear a mask, then wear a mask. But the government mandating the mask, not good.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we got some cool masks in from
Comrade Snoobage.
Comrade Snoobage.
Yeah. Okay.
We got not only masks.
But the more important thing, this is the lifesaver. It's not the masks. It's the fact that we got big old bag of watermelon Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids. Thank you.
Thank you so much
for that. That is awesome. And look at these masks. She made these herself. Yes. And they're really thin, and I'm not sure that they're CDC approved. She said she's never had a problem with them, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so look, you can, they're very sheer, as you can see.
Very sheer, so I guess they're more breathable, I would guess. And
you can put a little message in there.
All the stuff can go, the air goes right underneath them and to the sides.
Yeah,
but nobody has ever, she's worn these into grocery stores and all that. Nobody's ever said, hey, that's not adequate. You know why? Because it's symbolic. Mm-hmm. That's why.
Yep.
Just the symbol of putting something on your face, they're fine with it. They don't care if it works or not. It's so asinine. It's asinine. I mean, look at that.
I love it because people are just they just see out of their corner of their eye.
Right.
Oh, look, you're complying. You've got a mask on.
Yep.
I'll just keep on walking.
Good. You're one of the sheep like the rest of us.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter.
You don't stop to think, that mask can't really work, can it? Because they don't care. It's the symbolism.
It is. It's absolutely the symbolism. That's where we're at.
That's all it is.
I tell you what.
Welcome to America.
And I feel so sorry for like little babies. Like I saw this cute little baby yesterday in my travels, and people were trying to make her laugh and all this stuff, which, I mean, they were playing with her and stuff, but you're not allowed to show them your face. You're not allowed to smile.
Right.
I mean, we're losing that human connection just passing people on the street.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to see a face. Can I just go back to seeing a face?
And that might not seem like a big thing, but I think it is.
I think it's, yeah.
I think it's changing our society in a big way, in a really big way.
Not in a good way.
No, and definitely not good. In definitely a negative fashion.
Yeah, I mean, if you try to interact with somebody, you can't read them because you just get the eyes, you know? And it's like, are they smiling? Is this funny to them? I mean, it's a nightmare.
Yep. Plus, my sons are in town. They've been in town for a while now because they're helping us with the cookie business. By the way, if you want a really delicious cookie.
Where would I go? Like, hypothetically.
Hypothetically. Or actually, in reality, you could go to scrumptiouscookie.com and place your order because they're fantastic.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, they're in town, and they're going to a church that, well, they're going to our church, obviously, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But they're going to a place where young people go, you know, for young adults. So they're not with all the stodgy families and all that, so they can meet and mingle and all that.
Okay.
So I've asked the boys when they've come home a couple of times. So are there any girls that are interesting there?
Oh no.
Can't tell because everybody's wearing a mask.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
See?
That would kind of hamper that, wouldn't it? But gives you a really good chance to learn their personality before anything else, doesn't it?
Guys, come on.
Gives you a really good chance to figure out who they are deep inside.
And 6 months from now, when she finally takes the mask off, I will realize I've been wasting my time.
Right. But you never know. I mean, that's just another aspect of life where these stupid masks have gotten in the way. I don't know how you do it, really.
So
if you're
depressing.
single, and it's depressing. Let me tell you about Keeps, though. This is something that's not depressing. If you've noticed your hair isn't looking as full as it used to be, yeah, that sucks. So let's talk about some options. You can go to your doctor for a hair loss treatment prescription, then visit the pharmacy, try not to go broke just to avoid going bald, or you could try Keeps from the comfort of your lazy boy, if you have one, whatever chair or couch you have. You can get the same doctor-recommended FDA-approved hair loss treatment, but Keeps offers the generic versions for about half the cost. And one more thing you'll love about Keeps, it's all online. You just answer a few questions, snap some pictures of your hair, and a licensed doctor will review your information and recommend the right hair loss treatment for you. Then it's shipped directly to your door. Why make unnecessary trips to the doctor or the drugstore when you can do it all from the comfort and privacy of your own home? Don't have to worry about the mask or anything else. Go to KEEPS.com, keeps.com/Pat for 50% off your first order. So they're 50% cheaper, and then they give you another 50% off. That's keeps.com/Pat.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So Joe Biden's got a new ad out. This is amazing to me. You're going to try to pin this whole empty stadium thing on Donald Trump? Really? He's the guy that's trying to get us back into the stadiums, back into the sports world, back to work, back to normalcy somehow. And it has been the Joe Bidens and the rest of his stupid party that has been kicking against that ever since it started and trying to demand that we stay closed. Well, he just did it again. He just said that he would consider shutting everything down again.
Yeah, meanwhile, you've got Trump tweeting out to the Big Ten, play football, let's go play.
Right. So here's Joe Biden's new ad. This is amazing.
Good weather by opening day standard. We're going to be in the 60s. Enjoy the game. And now, to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem.
Democrats are going to sing the national anthem. Stop.
Yeah.
Empty fields, football fields all over America.
Okay, everything's empty. Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. And several of them are Big Ten stadiums and swing states, by the way.
Right.
In Pac-12.
All those empty seats. Look at it. Look at them. Empty classrooms. Because, it's been Donald Trump who said don't go back to school, right?
Empty churches. Like, that's going to appeal to your Democrat base.
Trump put America on the sidelines. Let's get back in the game. Trump put America back? Put him on the sideline? That's just another despicable lie. It's an absolutely despicable lie.
Yeah, so that's airing in Arizona swing state, Ohio swing state, Pennsylvania swing state, and I think Wisconsin, maybe Michigan. Yeah, swing states. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Trying to blame Trump for that. Wow. The unmitigated gall of this guy. I hope nobody buys it. I mean, you can't, right? I mean, everybody knows it's the Democrats who are trying to keep us on the sidelines.
I mean, this is exactly how the left set this up, right? Mm-hmm. If you want life back to normal, you got to vote for Biden. And that's, in my opinion, why this thing's been dragged out as long as it has.
Then you've got the Democrat governor of Michigan who demanded that the Michigan Wolverines not play football this year.
Yeah, Michigan and Michigan State are what's holding up the Big Ten at this point, apparently.
She won't let them play. In the first place, I don't have any idea how she has the power to demand that.
Right.
How can the governor of a state make the football teams in that state not play football? That's asinine. She doesn't have that power. She doesn't have that right. The power of the governor is not all-encompassing. Just like the presidency. That's not all-encompassing either. Just unbelievable. So to flip this around, I mean, it just shows you how shameless the Democrats are, what hypocrites they are. They just flip it around and take the exact opposite stand against reality and claim it for theirs. Really incredible. Really, really incredible. So then we got an ad from President Trump about the battle for the soul of America. Check this out.
The soul of America.
The soul of America.
With the soul.
The soul of our nation.
The soul of America.
Win this battle for the soul of our nation.
This race is a battle for the soul of our country. For the soul of the nation.
The soul of this nation.
The soul of America. We're in the battle for the soul of this nation. The battle for the soul of the nation.
Riots.
Then the violence in the streets. Oh, yeah. Trump in a guillotine. Crowds attacking police. Save America's soul. Text soul to 88022.
Not Joe?
Trump Pence. No, not Joe 30330.
Is that a niner in there?
That's a good ad, too.
Yeah, that is.
It's a good spot.
They are making some great ads.
Yeah, they are.
The RNC for a change.
Well, because you got the guy at the head who's just not afraid to take a shot at him.
Correct.
Everybody else has been too big a pansy to make it, that kind of attack ad.
Which is how we got.
We can't do that. That's how we got here, yes.
Exactly.
It's exactly how we got here. We don't want to say something mean like that. That's just mean-spirited. We can't do that. If you know what, we got the majority and the presidency. We can't go ahead and push our will through. That would be mean.
That would be mean.
It wouldn't be nice. That's mean.
Don't be mean to the left. They're not our enemy.
Let's just wait until they have at least a fighting chance. Let's just wait. That's what they usually do. So it's nice to see them pushing this a little bit because the Democrats deserve it. I mean, they are lying through their communist teeth at every turn. At every turn. What was that? I was just watching before
the show.
Oh, I know what it was. It's Biden on Anderson Cooper.
Ooh.
And you can't. I mean, I don't know that we're going to get through this because it is agonizing.
It's not only agonizing for what your point is going to be about how he's a big fat-faced liar, but he's not even answering the right question.
Right, exactly.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, there's a couple of issues here. Let's check this out.
About the shooting of Mr. Blake. He's talked about violence at protests in the wake of it. I'm wondering why you think that is that he hasn't actually addressed it. There's obviously a lot we do not know about the circumstances around it, but the video obviously has been out there.
Well, look, I don't know enough to know whether that 17-year-old kid exactly what he did. But
what?
Allegedly, he's part of a militia.
Pause it for a
out of the
second.
state of Illinois.
So the question's about Jacob Blake. Everybody knows that's the guy that got shot 7 times by police trying to get back into his car. That's the question. What do you make of that? His answer is about the 17-year-old kid who killed 2 people at the big protest the other night. So one's about Rittenhouse and the other's about Blake. They're not quite, Biden's not quite on the same page here. But listen to this.
Why you think that is that he hasn't actually addressed it. There's obviously a lot we do not know about the circumstances around it, but the video obviously has been out there.
Well, look,
I
don't know enough to know whether that 17-year-old kid exactly what he did.
He's out to lunch.
But allegedly, he's part of a militia coming out of the state of Illinois. Have you ever heard this president say one negative thing about white supremacists? Have you ever heard it?
Yes, I have.
That's the reason I got back in this race, because what happened in Charlottesville. People coming out of the woods carrying torches, their veins bulging. Close your eyes and remember what you saw.
Pause this for a second.
And
okay, he's going clear back. Now he's about to go back to Charlottesville. What was that, 2 years ago? When was that? Is it 19 or 18?
I think it was 3 years ago.
I mean, that's what he's talking about here. We've had multiple BLM catastrophes since then. BLM, Antifa. We've had all of this violence going on. You're going back to one example from 3 years ago? Was it 2017?
It was August of 2017.
My gosh.
Over 3 years ago.
And he's about to lie again, as they always do, about what the president said afterwards.
People coming out of the woods carrying torches, their veins bulging. Close your eyes and remember what you saw. And a young woman gets killed resisting the hate and violence.
Yeah, that's Charlottesville.
And the president gets asked to comment on it. What's he say?
What does he say?
He says they're very fine people.
No, he doesn't say that. No, he doesn't say that.
He condemned David Duke for
Pause
God's
it.
sake.
He said that, but not about the people who killed her. He didn't say that about white supremacists. He did not. In fact, he made it clear multiple times that there was a separate group of people on both sides. There were very fine people on both sides. He didn't say the white supremacists or Nazis were very fine people. He didn't, and you know it. Stop the lying about it. God, oh, it's frustrating. Now, let's see the rest if we can get through it.
He wouldn't even condemn David Duke, for God's sake.
Yeah.
The former Grand Cleveland.
Another lie.
This is a guy who has using division and hate is the only way he stays in office. That's what it's all about, dividing.
What is
and
your
the idea he doesn't.
Wow, he doesn't know what he's talking about there at all. And Cooper doesn't call him out on it. I mean, you've answered a completely different question from 3 years ago. And you don't say, no, Mr. Biden, that's not even what I was talking about. Seriously? You just let him ramble like that? Okay. All right. And you let him lie through his teeth like that? But they perpetuate that lie every single day. They talk about how much Trump lies. Somebody in the Democrat Party uses that lie, I'll bet, every day.
Oh, yeah.
I'll bet it comes out of somebody's fat face every single day. Something has been so disproven and discredited. It's just an absolute lie. Frustrating. 888-900-3393.
At least we got that pesky weekend behind us, though.
Yeah, thank you. Right.
I mean,
right.
You were looking for a silver lining.
That's right. So we got 5 days of listening to lies from the Democrats ahead of us. That's the good thing. That'll be fun. 888-900-3393. And at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. You won't believe what Kamala Harris had to say. We'll tell you about that coming up.
Goody.
Pat Gray returns on the Blaze Radio Network.
Thanks for being here. Some tweets here. Lee Payne Creative tweets, I want to hear all these squares this week. Let's play Blackout for our final bingo of 2020.
Whoa.
Or is that racist and canceled? Yeah. Yes, it is. Stubborn Baptist pastor, Sam. I think we need another Pat Gray screech. Something along the lines of, "This is not an emergency!"
There you go.
Something along those lines.
Something similar to that. Yeah.
Sandy Williams, will all the hospitals give the COVID money they received back for reporting the other than COVID deaths as COVID? Yeah, right.
That's cute.
Carl Smith, when my son was 8 and his soccer team didn't show up with enough players for a game, they forfeited the game to the opposing team. That's right. Yes. How about it, NBA and MLB? It's exactly what should have happened. When they left the floor, okay, Milwaukee Bucks have just forfeited the game to the Orlando Magic. It's 3-2 now. Let's move on. Mm-hmm. But they didn't, of course. No. Keystone Pig, elect me and I'll shut the country down for another 6 months so we can finally get back up and running. I'm Joe Biden and I approve this message. That's exactly what he's saying. I'm going to shut down the country so we can get back up and running. It's a lot like, are you saying, hey, Joe, are you saying we got to go bankrupt so that we can? Yeah, that I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying.
And that's weird because his ad with the football stadiums is effectively suggesting the opposite, right? Trump put us on the sidelines, but elect Joe Biden, we'll get back to normal. But yet he's saying, nah, I'll shut the country down again.
Yeah, he's opposite boy. He always does this.
We're going to go bankrupt as a nation.
Right.
Now, people say, when I say that, people look at me and say, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about, Joe?
You're telling me we got to go spend money to keep from going bankrupt?
And I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. You're telling me we got to shut down for 6 months before we can get back up and running? Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's great. This guy could be president of the United States, okay, for about 10, 15 minutes before they finally put him in the home. So let's get our friends and neighbors and everybody who has, I don't know, common sense left in their heads. Let's get them out to vote. Let's make sure they understand the importance of this. Also, some fascinating things from Kamala Harris. She had something to say, too, over the weekend. This is great stuff. Here's what she says about our future.
Clear that I know that there are protests still happening in major cities across the United States. I'm just not seeing the reporting on it that I had for the first few weeks.
That's right. But they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And
they're not going to stop.
This is a movement, I'm telling you. They're not going to stop. And everyone beware because they're not going to stop. It is going to they're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day.
What?
And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels. That this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not. And we should.
Wow. Okay. Who's encouraging this and who isn't? One half of the Biden campaign is trying to blame this stuff on Donald Trump. The other half is flat out encouraging these leftists to keep going. They're not going to stop, and they shouldn't stop.
Shouldn't stop.
That is unbelievable. Wow. Okay, the vice presidential candidate is encouraging this to keep going. She's telling them, yeah, keep going. I'm right there with you. Keep going. Keep going BLM. Keep going Antifa. Wow. Keep rioting. Keep looting. Wow.
So you had Maxine Waters saying get in their faces.
Yeah.
And now you've got Kamala Harris saying don't stop getting in their faces.
Yes. Yeah, they're doing just that. And they literally are doing what Maxine Waters said. They are getting in people's faces when they're out to dinner or, you know, anywhere.
Crossing
anywhere
the
they
street.
Are. Yes.
In the case of Rand Paul or any other Trump supporter leaving the acceptance speech.
Did you read how afraid Kelly Paul was? Rand's wife. She was.
I can imagine. He had both hands. Rand Paul had both hands on her hips as they were crossing, and the Antifa freaks were in their face. Mm-hmm. And then he has to turn around to help the cop with the bike. Mm-hmm. And so when she realizes, oh, crap, Rand's only got one hand on me now, what's going back? You could just see the fear.
She thought she was going to die. And
I bet.
Rand said the same thing virtually. They, you know, people are yelling at him, we're going to F you up. We're going to kill you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then how about that couple trying to get into their hotel? And that masked chick, oh my gosh. Just, I mean, it literally feels like every scene we've seen from The Purge.
Yeah, it does.
Unfolding before our eyes in reality.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, we're not quite to where everybody's... I mean, how many murders have we had, though? We've seen many. We had a Trump supporter that was shot in the head just over the weekend in Portland. Mm-hmm. Somebody yelled, "Got a couple of them right here." And then they said it again. Guy comes up to him, "Right here?" "Yeah, right here." And then you hear the shots go off. So he just came up and they were obviously hunting them down.
Executed.
Found some Trump supporters and executed them right then and there. Shot the guy dead right then and there.
Yeah.
And he had a Patriots prayer cap on. So that's how they knew that he was a Trump supporter.
Yeah, and I mean Portland. We've got video. You just play that. We answering the call, if you will. And we've got Trump supporters headed into Portland now to face down Antifa, and oof. So this is Battleground Portland. So I mean, there's one of the first little clashes between the two groups, but carload after carload after carload are entering Portland of Trump supporters, for lack of a better way to describe them, and heading into Antifa territory. There we go, as the Maginot Line begins in Portland.
Jeez.
This is disturbing.
Very. Very.
Look at that.
If they feel like they need to do it, though.
Because the police aren't allowed to do this.
Police aren't doing it. We haven't sent in the National Guard. Somebody needs to do this. Okay, and then you got the black-dressed Antifa morons. Oh, and then everybody getting in the way of the trucks. Probably not a good idea, doofuses. And then they're going to whine and cry if somebody gets run over. Get out of the street! I mean, they're getting in the way of traffic on freeways. Mm-hmm. And expecting, I guess, traffic to just stop. Well, what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't?
Then
you're going to get run over.
Yeah.
So stay out of the roadways. How about that? Just a safety tip there for you.
This is not good, man.
It's not good at all.
Help us.
Yeah, it's really, really not good.
Help us.
Never seen anything like this in my lifetime. I don't know if 68 was worse than this, the summer of 68. Maybe it was. I was way too young to realize.
Well, you weren't even born yet.
That's
are you
true.
29 now?
That's why, yes.
You're 29.
Yes, that's why I can't remember.
You'd have no way to... Do you even remember Reagan being president?
Oh, barely. No.
You were really young.
Really, really young. Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
I think I was still a glimmer in my dad's eye.
Oh, that's true. Because Reagan...
So,
2019.
Right.
You're 29. Carry the one. And yeah, okay. So there you go.
Reagan was before my time, too. So...
But, somebody asked the question on Twitter last week that I thought was great. What was the least important election of your lifetime? The least important. I'm trying to think back. Do you have an answer? I mean, being that you've only been alive since 1990.
Right.
But I guess I went with Ford Carter. I don't know. But still, Carter was so bad.
Really bad.
I don't know. Carrie said Dole Clinton.
Yeah. The second. Yeah. Second time he was elected.
But that's a tough question.
Very.
Because they're all important. This one even more so than the last, if you can believe it.
After 2000, they're all really, really important. Because you got the wars and the terrorism and all of that to deal with. And so, super important.
Can you imagine Al Gore as commander-in-chief?
No. Oof. That would have been a catastrophe.
During 9/11. Okay.
So also, over the weekend, President Trump threatened just outside the White House by a Black Lives Matter terrorist. Here's what he had to say. Don't worry about it, though. This is just, they're worried about police violence, police brutality. They're just trying to snuff that out. Don't worry about it.
Bow to the people! Bow to the people! Bow to the people! Right. We got rip Trump out of that office right over there. Pull him out that. Nah, we ain't about waiting until the next election. We about to go get that mother. I ain't about that. Because you know what time it is? I want y'all to be after me. It's time.
It's time
for a revolution.
For the Secret Service.
It's time for a revolution.
Jeez.
It's time.
Is it?
For a revolution.
Okay.
Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all.
You're welcome. Oh, yeah. We appreciate you too, man. Hey, thanks. Thanks a lot.
He's just one of many talking like that about ripping Trump out of the White House.
That's why stop with your support of Black Lives Matter. All these college football players who are just blindly following these guys down this path, including God.
Uh-oh. What do you got?
No,
I mean, I got my Husker story, but what do you got?
I got nothing.
What? No, you want to talk about?
I don't have anything.
Is there a BYU guy or something?
No, the whole team is behind it. Whole team.
Oh, no.
Talking about balancing their activism with focusing on Navy for the first game. How about this balance? Don't worry about the freaking activism, okay? At least educate yourselves on who these guys are that you're supporting.
Right.
Listen to this garbage. God. It's
maddening.
Oh my gosh, I can't take it.
I tell you,
just the blind devotion, just because they're called Black Lives Matter. Okay, everybody knows Black Lives Matter, but the group is dangerous, incredibly dangerous. They're talking about killing the president of the United States here. They're talking about going to the White House and dragging him out and doing him harm. Okay, that deserves a visit from the U.S. Secret Service.
Yep. They should have just walked right over there from the White House.
Absolutely, they should have.
And detained him.
You can't do that. You cannot threaten the president of the United States. You can't do that. That's a crime.
We're not waiting for the election. Go and rip him out the White House right now.
Okay. All right, and then what? And then what are you going to do?
But yeah, I mean, these athletes... They are making sports unwatchable, and whether it was just fortuitous for the far left on this that athletes glommed onto this, or whether this was by design, it's working. We have nowhere to go now. We have no refuge, no escape. We have ruined politics and sports. What's left? What can we talk about? You want to talk about the weather?
Yeah, the weather's ruined too with climate change. Oh, yeah. So
we can't do that. I mean,
can't do that either.
I don't know what you want to talk about then. I mean,
they really are trying to take that last bastion of relief, sports, from us. They're trying to take it, and they kind of have. I mean, they've certainly taken the NBA. Major League Baseball is right behind them. You know the NFL is going to be agonizing when it starts up. They're going to. I mean,
yeah, Goodell's all in.
Goodell is so stupid.
Yeah. But I tell you what, how brave of the Marlins and Mets and the A's and the Astros for walking onto the field and then walking off of the field. I guarantee you they wouldn't have done that had there been people in the stands.
No way.
So
no way.
You're brave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
They don't even know what they're supporting. They don't even know what they're supporting. And this latest incident with Jacob Blake, my gosh, look into that story. Would you just a little bit, just beyond the last few seconds. Maybe you could look into what was going on, what brought that about, how it happened. Maybe you look into that. I don't know. Find out that the guy was wanted for sexual assault that's pretty extreme.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? When you read about it, it's pretty graphic.
Yeah.
The guy was not an angel.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and to a woman who was in bed with her child, by the way.
Yeah. Yes. So then... and by the way, that wasn't his car. It was stolen. He doesn't have a car. He stole the car. And he was also fighting with the officers who were trying to subdue him. They tased him multiple times. Now that this story has come out, we know why they didn't use a taser when he was getting back into the car. It didn't work on him. They tased him twice. No effect. Had no effect on him. He put one of the guys in a headlock. He wrestled out of the hold that they had on him. Non-lethal means weren't working. So what did they do then? They drew their weapons. Even when they had the show of lethal force, he continued not to listen to their direction. He continued to go around the car and get into the car to try to retrieve the knife or whatever he was trying to do. And that's what they knew he was going after something. What's he getting into the car for? Well, let me go get my driver's license for you, all right? Just a second. I forgot my license. Let me show it to you. No, that's not what he was doing. He was trying to retrieve the knife. So they shot him until the threat was done.
But congratulations, professional athletes. You are boycotting your profession based on a guy who's been accused of rape and assaulting police officers.
Jeez. And most of the stuff that they parrot that comes out of their faces, most of them are at least contested that that there was any sort of criminal activity on the part of the cops. Usually, the cops have been justified in these things. Usually. Even when you look at the full story of George Floyd, there's some question there. The guy had a lethal amount of fentanyl in his system. That alone could have made him stop breathing.
Yeah, I forgot where I read this, but it was some medical official who said that
it suppresses your breathing.
Well, yeah, if he hadn't have had an interaction with the police, it would have just been a death that they came upon by entering his apartment or what have you, because of the fentanyl in his system causing him the inability to breathe.
And I don't think that cop acted properly.
No, I don't either,
But there was extenuating circumstances even with that one that almost everybody agreed on. So it would be nice if people would just, especially some of these athletes, just look into it and know what you're talking about for a change.
And remember, "I can't breathe" was first uttered by him while sitting in the back of the patrol car with no kind of interaction happening whatsoever.
Which, had he just sat in the back of the patrol car, there never would have been the knee on his neck, and maybe he would have lived, but maybe not with the lethal amount of fentanyl in his system. It's amazing. It's just, and ESPN commentators like Max Kellerman.
No!
God, that's so agonizing, and he's got to be straightened out. By what's his face?
He was talking to Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
Yes. We should find that and play it because that's pretty good too.
When he's talking about
how Fox News is just propaganda or whatever for the Trump administration, and Stephen A. Smith actually opposed him on that a little bit.
Yeah, and basically talking about they're playing football in the South in the SEC country because they're just so dumb down there. Oh my gosh!
Come on!
So what did we just say a second ago? Sports,
right?
Taken from us,
right? And again, it shows you how liberal almost all sports guys are too. Just I don't know how that happened. 888-900-3393. Welcome to it. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. And Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Mailbox Hero tweets. Someone's going to have to explain to me how a kid shooting two white guys makes you a white supremacist. Can't wrap my mind around that. Yeah. Especially when they're coming at you. One of them armed with a gun. The other's trying to take your gun from you. Yeah, but it was murder. Just straight up murder. By a white supremacist. And by the way, there was they found nothing on this guy to lead you to believe that he's a white supremacist. He didn't write about that. He wasn't pushing that kind of thing online. As far as I know, they got nothing on him like that. Asking for a friend tweets, the guy who organized Charlottesville, Richard Spencer, has endorsed Joe Biden. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's right. It's amazing.
Fun.
My info. Yeah, you know why? Because Donald Trump isn't, he's not racist enough for him. My info tweets, wow, I just heard Biden say Trump used division and hate to stay in office. This from the man and party who's using division and hate to get into office. SMDH, which stands for...
Well, you know this, Mr. Twitter. Shaking my darn head.
Okay, yes. Of course that's what that means. I just wanted to see if you...
I've never seen the D thrown in there.
Oh,
that's
really?
like a little extra bonus. It's usually SMH.
Shaking my head. Mm-hmm. But this is shaking my darn head. Or dang. Margot Demers tweets, why didn't Anderson Cooper use the same interview style with Biden that he used with Mike Lindell? Inquiring minds want to know. Huh. I wonder. Also, I got to say, it is time for ESPN. They really need to rein in their little commie warriors again. They did this a while ago and said, hey, stop talking politics so we can at least keep some of our audience. How about that? I mean, this Max Kellerman, absolute know-nothing douchebag who just goes off every single day about things he knows nothing about. It's agonizing. They're going to lose their entire audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're already having a tough enough time because they're having to cover rock skipping championships. I mean, it's... Come on. You got to stop with the politics.
And
stop.
It's not just with the television side of things. It's also on the radio side of things. Because when there was a big injury for a Chicago Bears player last week, I immediately turned over to Chicago Sports Radio. And for the next half hour, there was nothing about that injury. that local injury. It was all social justice talk, and after a half hour, I gave up.
Surprised you lasted for half an hour. Wow.
I couldn't reach the radio.
That's difficult.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Got an interesting poll here. 24% of registered black voters, they did this survey August 22nd through the 25th, includes the first 2 days of the convention. So this isn't even the whole convention.
Oh, wow.
Said they approve of the job Trump is doing as president. 24%. 76% said they disapprove. Now, that's up 9 points from the previous survey.
So black support?
Yeah, black support went from 15 to 24%.
Wow.
Hispanic support didn't jump quite as much, but it went up 30 to 32%.
Huh.
That is significant for the president.
Wow.
87% of Democrat voters disapprove of Trump. Huh. Along with 64% of independent voters. Survey found the president remains underwater with suburban voters and urban voters, 42% support each. His support remains steady among rural voters at 53%. Huh. You know, again, I hold out hope because I don't think there's anybody who's super excited about Joe Biden.
No, and that's what Michael Moore's been pointing out
That's
lately.
the thing. Yeah, Michael Moore is warning that Donald Trump is on course to repeat his 2016 win. This is what he said back in 2016. He said, look, he's going to beat Hillary.
Wait, is this a Star Wars story? I don't know. Rob down the hall, he put up a picture.
of Jabba the Hutt.
What does that have to do with anything?
With Michael Moore?
Yeah, this is a Michael Moore story. There you go. There it is. I can see how your file might be confusing.
Yeah. So he said Trump appears to have momentum in some battleground states that liberals risk a repeat of 2016 when many wrote off Trump only to see him grab the White House. Sorry to provide the reality check again, but he's saying that, he predicted Trump's victory over Hillary in 2016. He said enthusiasm for Trump is off the charts in key areas compared with Joe Biden. Are you ready for a Trump victory? Are you mentally prepared to be outsmarted by Trump again? Do you find comfort in your certainty that there is no way Trump can win? Are you content with the trust you placed in the DNC to pull this off? Some of the questions that he asked. He identified opinion polling in battleground states like Minnesota and Michigan to make the case that he's running ahead or alongside Joe Biden. The Biden campaign just announced he'll be visiting a number of states, but not Michigan. Sound familiar? Moore wrote, yep, it does, because Hillary did that same thing and lost. I'm warning you almost 10 weeks in advance, the enthusiasm level for the 60 million in Trump's base is off the charts. For Joe, not so much. Yeah, their whole all their enthusiasm is against Trump.
Mm-hmm.
It's I hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump can't win. Anybody but Trump. It doesn't have to be Biden. They don't care about Biden.
Right.
They know. In fact, a lot of them know Biden is not all there, and he's not the one, and he should not be leading the party. However, he's leading the party, so we'll see what happens. We'll see. In Chicago, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, she is fantastic. Lovely.
You're going to go with lovely?
Lovely, fantastic, inspiring, consistent. She was asked about the police protection at her home and why she gets that police protection. Here's what she had to say.
How can you justify such a large police presence near your home at a time when police officers are stretched to the limit and working 12-hour days?
Yeah.
And why are you enforcing a law banning protests at residential homes that has not been enforced in recent memory when protesters showed up at homes of your predecessors, including Mayor Emanuel?
So as always, Fran has multiple questions rolled into one, so let me try to take them. Say it again.
You got it in one email, so.
Yeah, but it's multiple questions as it always is with Fran. And I'm going to defer,
and that's a bad thing, I guess.
in the first instance to the superintendent. But I'm going to say this.
Say it.
This is a different time like no other. This is a different time.
It's a different time like no other.
And I'm not going to make any excuses for the fact that given the threats that I have personally received, given the threats to my home and my family, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that they are protected. And I make no apologies whatsoever for that. We are living in very different times.
Right.
And I've seen the threats that have come in. And I have an obligation.
Don't worry about
to
anybody
keep my
else,
home,
just you.
my wife, my 12-year-old,
Your wife,
and my neighbors
12-year-old,
safe.
Your neighbors safe. Okay. Nobody else needs to worry about that, though. Just her.
No, well, Chicago, I mean, it's a gun-free zone. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're safe just by virtue of being there. Right?
No, don't worry about it. I mean, if your neighborhood's not safe, that doesn't matter. She's not going to make any apologies for keeping her neighborhood safe, for keeping her house safe. That is unbelievable. The hypocrisy.
Fort Lori.
The elitism. God, jeez.
Yeah, I do want to thank the sign language chick off to her left for, I think that's the first one we've seen that's really been under control and not like doing some crazy dance while they're interpreting. So I appreciated that as well. But yeah, Fort Lori, right? Mm-hmm. Fort Lori.
Yep. Do as I say, not as I do. I'll protect me and mine. I won't protect you.
Hey, that was good.
See there?
That was real good.
Yeah, thank you.
You just stumbled into that, right? You didn't plan that ahead.
Actually, no, I did not plan that ahead.
Talent, y'all.
Thank you. Just part of the wonder, you know.
The Pat Gray experience?
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. From the Babylon Bee, this is getting harder and harder for the poor Babylon Bee because reality is coming closer and closer to what they do every single day. Let's see, we have this. You've heard of VidAngel, right?
Yeah. You talk about how it edits out bad stuff, objectionable stuff, so you can watch movies.
You can take out the F word. Well, you can take out any objectionable word you want to.
It turns out like a rated R movie becomes what? PG-13, something like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You can take out as much or as little as you want. You can take out the sex or the nudity, whatever. Now there's a news service from, according to the Babylon Bee, called VidAtheist.
Oh, wow.
It's a filtering service that adds more sex, violence, and swearing to your movies.
Jeffy?
You know, he's the first one in line for this.
Where do I sign up?
After seeing the success of VidAngel, the streaming service that instantly turns every secular movie into a Christian movie by bleeping out the bad stuff, entrepreneurs are releasing a new service for those who aren't fans of clean entertainment. Called VidAtheist. This new service will spice up your movies and TV shows by adding in more cuss words, nudity, and gratuitous violence. It will also bleep out any mentions of God or religion.
Wow. Wow.
We realized there was an entire population of consumers who want even more depravity in their entertainment, said Ace Chambers, CEO of VidAtheist. Besides, VidAngel had all these extra cuss words and gory clips laying around in storage after removing them from other movies. So we bought them in bulk and put them to good use.
Nice.
Thus began VidAtheist.
VidAtheist.
Viewers will now be able to see a reversed version of God's Not Dead, where the professor converts the main character to atheism with additional swearing and gore added in.
Wow. That's interesting.
Al Gore or...
No.
Oh, okay. A different kind of gore. I see. Okay.
Come on.
They will also be treated to a never-before-seen cut of Fireproof, where Kirk Cameron actually kisses an actress on screen.
On the cheek, I hope, right?
Well, if it's his wife, it's okay, I guess, because I think he only acts with his wife now or something.
Oh, wow. Huh.
There will even be a cut of The Phantom Menace where Jar Jar Binks gets brutally murdered in every scene. Oh, I'd watch that one.
Oh, this might be worth it now.
That I would watch. According to sources within the company, VeggieTales characters will all wear fedoras, and episodes will feature an average of 103 cuss words per episode.
Oh, now that might be worth the trial run, too.
Unfortunately, VidAtheist is facing setbacks after one beta tester tried to watch The Wolf of Wall Street on its service. 5 minutes into the film, the service crashed, a power grid went down, and 2 server farms on the West Coast burst into flames. We're still working on it, said Chambers.
That is fun. All right, VidAtheist.
VidAtheist. So, it's another way to go, right? I mean, if you don't want the Pollyanna stuff, then you can go the other way. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. So we showed the Berlin rally, right?
Yeah,
Did we have the London one as well?
No, we haven't gotten anything on that one. Sorry. What did you see
I love
there?
the fact that I couldn't remember if we showed how much the people of Europe are sick and tired of this nonsense. But we did show that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Now we've got a Democrat candidate who faked her kidnapping. I know that's a Pat Gray jihad.
The hoaxes that are perpetrated.
Yeah.
Was this a racial thing, or
I don't know.
Is she saying that she was just kidnapped by?
I don't know. She needed some
nondescript
attention.
people.
She wasn't polling very high. I know that, and so she was looking for some attention, and she got it when she faked her kidnapping.
So police have arrested her in South Carolina, allegedly filming a fake kidnapping of herself to win votes while running for mayor. That doesn't seem like the way to go.
No, but she got publicity out of that.
Authorities charged Sabrina Belcher with conspiracy as well as filing a false police report following the fake kidnapping.
Yeah.
She was filmed being robbed, beaten, and kidnapped in a video on Facebook Live. And according to the state, Belcher arranged the whole incident in order to get sympathy before the election.
Oh, now's your chance, Sumter, South Carolina. You could have Sabrina Belcher as your mayor.
If she doesn't win,
right,
you know that some kind of fraud was perpetuated.
It's either racism, sexism, or quite possibly both.
Probably
because
both.
She's obviously qualified just on her creativity alone.
They staged a kidnapping and beating in order to garner sympathy, publicity, and votes in the November election. This was simply an effort to create disorder and discontent in our community for personal gain. That goes on so much. Yeah, this is part of the jihad for sure.
Yeah.
We have a video of her. Is it just the? Is it the rap?
Oh yes. So I guess her day job is
rap music,
is being a rapper, and so we found a music video of her stylings.
And here she is.
At 19 became somebody baby mama before I step out the door. I let my mama know I got plans to make it home. Just in case I don't cover me in the blood.
She's good.
I thought you would say that.
Yeah, she's good.
Thought you would do that.
I love them more than they ever know. Speaking on the way.
She loves them more than they will ever know.
I was not ready to go and show up to my home going. Don't let them take
Okay, I don't want to get too much of a good thing because we'll be flagged if we play too much of her great music. YouTube will take us down for that. I don't want that to happen. So otherwise, I'd play the whole thing because it's great. I've got the CD at home and it's terrific.
What's your favorite track off of Sabrina Belcher?
I can't. You're like asking me to pick my favorite child. I can't do it.
Now, are you talking about
can't do it.
The Sabrina Belcher greatest hits or Sabrina Belcher Unplugged?
Unplugged? Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Right?
Yeah.
A little mandolin accompanying her on stage.
So she wasn't actually kidnapped and beaten. Huh.
Can you believe that?
I can't believe it.
I mean, it's nothing
Who would have seen that
sacred.
coming, that whole hoax? Wow.
But there's still time. Sumter, South Carolina, you can do the right thing. And
vote her into office.
Right. I think, what was her campaign slogan? Hold on, change is coming.
Hold on?
Hold on, change is coming.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on.
Hold on. Change is coming. All right.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's like, what's her face from the Lumbee tribe? She says hold, too.
Yeah.
Hold on. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. There's our girl right there.
Yeah.
Sabrina Belcher, for first black female city mayor of Sumter, South Carolina. Hold on. Change is coming.
Wait, what?
COMMING.
No, wait. No.
We should have maybe checked the spelling before we put up the poster. I don't know.
Hold on.
Change is coming.
It's close to commie.
Yeah, close. Yeah.
What is it?
It's so amazing. Absolutely incredible. I mean, one thing after another. Can you believe the Jim Gaffigan tweets last week during the convention? The anti-Trump stuff that just poured out of him. I would have never guessed he's a leftist. Never guessed it in a million years. And he doesn't care. In fact, he's mentioned something about it, right? Like, people tell me not to do this because it's going to hurt my base. Well, I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck in Utah now. Good luck in Nevada and Idaho and wherever you go. I mean, he was spewing anti-Trump hatred. Really disappointing.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, all these stupid athletes, and then Jim Gaffigan too. All right, whatever.
Yeah,
really hate it.
Yeah, it was just one tweet after another. August 27th, if you're scoring at home, you want to go back.
Last comedy special I saw of his was not that funny anyway. So
oh, okay.
I'm done with it. I'm done.
So that worked out?
Mm-hmm. Worked out well. 888-900-3393. Oh, we gotta introduce you to, speaking of athletes, Ray Caldwell. He's the Bronko Nagurski of baseball. This guy.
Yeah.
Now, this was a long time ago, granted, when players were tough.
Well, Jeffy remembers.
Sure he does. Yeah, he was in the stands, I think, this day. Indians pitcher from 1919 to 1921.
Okay.
He was struck by lightning in the ninth inning of his Indians debut on August 24th, 1919. Struck by lightning. He finished pitching the game after he was revived. So he must have, I don't know, did CPR? They must have done CPR on him?
I don't know. Maybe he just shook it off. I mean, that's when men were men, right?
Yeah, he was revived. It leads you to believe that he was out and maybe not even breathing, and they got him breathing again, and he gets up and goes back out to the mound.
Finishes the game. It's like, I got this, guys. Just chill. That's his first game with the team. You talk about getting cred right out of the gate with your new teammates.
He pitched a no-hitter at New York 17 days later, and he won 20 games for the 1920 World Champion Indians. That's absolutely amazing. On the baseball mound of the Cleveland Indians, Ray Caldwell stood tall, struck by lightning in the ninth inning. He was administered CPR and, when revived, finished pitching the rest of the game.
Yes!
So great.
Wow. Now, who
that's a
would
man.
win?
That's a man right there.
Right. So Ray Caldwell versus Bronko Nagurski, steel cage death match. What do you think?
I still gotta go Bronco.
You think
so?
the
guy plays with just his torso.
It's true.
It's pretty amazing.
That's true.
But in the midst of all these athletes and all this madness, let's just do some small talk here.
Oh, okay.
We got a guy who's going to help us engage in small talk.
Okay.
And
nice to meet
here's
you
some tips.
For sure. So, how about the weather lately?
Go-to number one, the weather.
It's been pretty hot out. Whew. Stay inside, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the clouds. We've had a lot of clouds lately, for sure.
Is he a cashier?
For sure,
You can use this at Walgreens or CVS next time you're in.
So, where do you work?
Well,
you're an accountant.
I work at Walgreens.
Spreadsheet Excel guy. Oh, not really. What's the accountant industry looking like these days? Not too bad. Suppose people need their finances in check no matter what's going on. For sure. Yeah, how about everything that's been going on? It's been a wild year. Weird year.
Go-to number 3,
just
state of the world.
Everything that's been going on. Political ads, am I right? I think we're all sick of them. We're ready for the political season to be done.
Yeah.
Especially with everything that's been going on. For sure. So, where are you from?
Number 4. Where are you from?
Aberdeen.
Okay. South Dakota. Nice, for sure. I actually think I had a buddy in college that was from Aberdeen. Nope. Sorry. Millbank? Millbank's by Aberdeen, right? Not really? Small world, though, huh? So, you a football fan?
Oh, no.
Go-to number 5, sports.
Tough year to be a football fan, for sure.
For sure.
Sports.
Yeah.
Sports. So, you want a beer or anything? Yeah? Okay. I got Bush. You're a Bush Light guy? I knew I liked you. Yeah, I got a full 30 rack of lattes in the garage fridge right now. I'll grab you one, maybe 2. We have so much in common. I'll grab a couple.
There's a little helpful a helpful guide on how to make small talk with somebody. That's good.
Look for this.
For sure.
On Twitter, @PatUnleashed. We'll tweet that out.
For sure, we will. You got some tweets here from Gemalafe? Gemalafe?
Boy, I don't know.
I don't know how you pronounce that.
That's that one.
About Sabrina Belcher.
Oh, yeah.
So this woman chose to do the Jussie Smollett route. Good call. Yeah, that always works out really well. Because they're never going to find out. They're never going to guess that you faked it, that it's a hoax of some sort. From Bob Loblaw, I'm shocked the left hasn't yet declared the trumpet an instrument of hate.
Oh, that's coming.
See what he did there? Trumpet.
Hey.
Reality check. 200 plus years ago, our country was fought for and founded by people of intelligence, bravery. Today, we're losing our country at the hands of people that are stupid, selfish, and cowards. I'd rather live in a country founded by heroes. Yeah, that's a little picky.
Right?
Yeah, right? Right?
See, I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah,
it's not my place.
It's a little picky.
But then when the host points it out, now I feel empowered to kind of say,
good, yeah, because I want to empower
That's
everybody.
what I was thinking. Yeah.
From Bronko Nagurski fan club about the Ray Caldwell baseball player versus Bronko Nagurski. My money is on Bronko, especially if the cage match is held in an environment that's 49 below zero. Definitely then, yeah.
Home field advantage for Bronco.
Absolutely. Apparently 350 faith leaders have just endorsed Joe Biden.
I'm sorry?
Citing, quote, a need of moral leadership. Wouldn't it be a need for moral leadership, not of?
I think more importantly, you didn't set this up properly. You didn't say this was from the Babylon Bee.
It's not from the Babylon Bee. Yeah, that's not Babylon Bee. It's from the Hill. Yeah, the Hill.
Okay.
Get a coalition of more than 350 faith leaders endorsed Joe Biden. Wow. The array of endorsements includes well-known progressive faith. Well, of course.
Okay. Now leaders. I get it. All right.
Nadia Bowles-Weber, a Lutheran minister who founded the LGBTQIA2+ friendly house for all sinners and saints in Denver. Well, what a surprise. She's with Joe Biden. And Robert W. Lee IV, a descendant of the Confederate general who stepped down as pastor of a North Carolina church in 2017 after publicly supporting Black Lives Matter. Okay, good. Well, isn't that wonderful? Isn't that? I thought it was going to be like, people we've actually heard of. Somebody we actually look up to, maybe. Nope.
No, sir.
Don't worry about it. 350 progressive faith leaders. Oh, no. Jim Wallace, is he going to be for Joe Biden? What a stunning surprise that would be. You were talking a while ago about wanting to see people's faces.
Yes.
Because we got this mask situation. It's kind of separating us now.
Mm-hmm.
So Scintillating Duck sent this in because you just want to see a face.
Oh, yeah.
Here you go.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, so when you take your mask off, then you see that's what
you see people without teeth.
And that's kind of what your son's going to hang out with.
Right. Seeing in church, once the mask comes off, then it looks like it's going to be pretty pleasant. And then no, whoa, not so much.
Whoa, put it on.
So maybe the mask is a good thing.
Yeah, so in hindsight,
maybe it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just leave the mask on, and we'll just wonder what the rest of the face looks like.
Yeah.
Did you see the story from Massachusetts that a mother and son have been charged with incest, and they face up to 20 years in prison for it?
Didn't see it.
It's a creepy, weird story, frankly. A mom and son have been charged with incest, could land in prison for up to 20 years. The alleged licentious wickedness took place at the Fitchburg, Massachusetts home. Tony Lavoie shares with his wife and his 63-year-old mom. Now, he's 43, and the mom came in and found the two of them engaged in an activity, the mother and son, and kind of went nuts and called police.
Wait, who came in?
Police came. The wife. The wife came in and found the mother and son on the couch together.
Oh, gosh.
And so she called police, and police came, showed up, and the two of them they were arrested, and they admitted what they were doing. And now they said it was consensual. And so in a place like Massachusetts, when love can't be dictated, right? You can't determine who a person can love and who they can't.
Yeah.
Why is this a problem?
Yeah.
Consenting adults.
We always hear.
Consenting adults.
Don't tell me who to love.
Right. If you want to love your mom, why can't you? I mean, it's not appetizing to me, but obviously to Mr. Lavoie, it is.
Sure. Now, if this were a Wednesday or Friday, you'd hear,
first of all,
or
who among us? Who among us?
But it's not Wednesday or Friday.
But it's not Wednesday or Friday. So we're not hearing that. And I just have to wonder, with the strides we've made. Strides we've made.
Yeah.
Why is this still taboo? Seriously, I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't get it.
What's the justification for that?
Yeah. Isn't the justification for incest is that, the children could be, with the DNA similarities, the children could be messed up.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to have children, right? A 63-year-old mother and her 43-year-old son. I mean, I'm not trying to make the case I'm just saying.
The hypocrisy is what you're pointing out.
The hypocrisy is unbelievable here. Why is this a remaining taboo? Why? And why is polygamy a remaining taboo? If I can't control who you love, why can I control how many you love? Who cares? I mean, why are any of these things still illegal?
I would love to know the justification.
I would too. I would love to hear that, especially from the advocates of the people who've pushed us to where we are now to make these strides we've made. What is the reasoning behind this and why this is still among consenting adults? Again, why is that a problem? And how could you possibly do 20 years in prison for it? How is that even possible? Wow. All right. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. We've had this hanging around for, I don't know, a couple of weeks probably.
Yes.
And haven't gotten around to it. But it's kind of fun. Because it's kind of fun to see leaders that we don't really appreciate that much.
Make fools of themselves?
Yes, kind of, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is Turkey's Erdogan.
Oh, yeah.
Riding a horse.
Oh.
And then...
The steed suddenly bolts.
The steed suddenly bolts.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. And he's in a suit and tie.
Oh, this is me all day.
And throwing Erdogan unceremoniously to the dirt.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy, that looked like it hurt, didn't it?
Oh, no.
Then he got kicked in the giblets.
Causing a kick to the politician's constituents. Taking a hit for the people, Erdogan is lucky to only suffer a sore back.
And something else.
After this party in the park came to a crushing halt.
Causing a kick to the politician's constituents. That's a great line.
Yeah, it just makes me want to cross my legs.
Yeah. That's embarrassing.
That's not good.
If you're going to ride a horse like that, you probably shouldn't be in a suit and tie, for one thing.
That's a good point as well.
Yeah. Suit and tie and dress shoes. Okay, now I'm on a horse. It's a good idea.
Yeah, go shirtless like Vladimir Putin does, right?
Yeah. Speaking of which, we saw one from him a while ago, too.
Yes.
We might as well show you that one, too, since he's such a
Is this after he scored like a dozen goals in a hockey game or something?
Yeah, and he did that legitimately.
Oh, sure he did.
Then he's skating around for the victory lap. Oh boy! Look out for the carpeting on the ice. Oopsie daisies! That had to be. I'll bet that pissed him. Somebody probably died from that.
Do we have an update on the carpet guy who was in charge of the?
Yeah, we lost him.
What do we mean
we lost him? He lost his head, and so.
You know he did.
You know he did.
Oh, my goodness.
There's no question about it.
Good times when you see a tyrant end up on the ground.
Yeah, face first. Do a face plant. And he wasn't hurt, so.
Sure, and then the horse for Erdogan, I mean, he did what so many in that country probably want to do. Kicked him right in the constituents.
Kicked him right in the politicians' constituents.
You know they're sitting around when they're like, all right, so we're going to play this. Let's write something snarky.
What can we call his giblets? Let's see.
The voters, let's see.
How about his constituents? He kicked him in the constituents.
Yeah, write that one down. That's good.
That's good.
Good stuff.
All right, 888-900-3393. One more that's really kind of, if you're squeamish, this is going to be fun to see too. The nose swabbing done by a robot now. If you've gotten a COVID-19 test, I think they do it swabbing your throat, right? Or they can go up your nose. And now they've got robots who go up your nose with a very long instrument.
No.
Watch this. I mean, this is...
Is this like a torture device? Is this a guy? Is he a willing participant? Do we know for a fact?
We do not know.
Like, are there guys with machine guns right off set aimed at him?
And apparently this is from Taiwan.
Oh, no.
Taiwan medtech startup is doing this.
And here comes the robot.
And here comes the robot swinging around. Got to back way up because this thing is long. It's like a, 2-foot long Q-tip swab or something.
See, I'm starting to gag just watching it if I'm him.
And now it's beginning to go...
No.
Up his nose.
Oh, no.
Nice.
Oh, gosh.
So we got in there in nice ways. And then we're not done yet. Now we're going to take another angle.
Oh, no.
And we're going to shove it up there even further.
Oh, no.
It's in his brain at this point. It's somewhere.
Seriously. I can't.
In his frontal lobe.
I literally cannot look at this.
Okay. And then it goes back and forth.
Yeah, I am that sensitive to this kind of stuff.
I would have vomited, I think, by now.
I would have vomited before he even made a final approach.
Oof.
I can't even look at the screen.
He didn't even move.
He's a freak then.
That's amazing.
I mean, literally, that thing was so long, it has a sample of his brain on the end of that
Seriously,
Q-tip.
I mean, that had to be a 2-foot Q-tip swab type thing.
I didn't even know how. I mean, is it almost like one of those fake knives you get, like a little toy where you do the little stab and then the blade disappears? Like inside is like, haha, just kidding. It's really just. That was disturbing.
I don't know. Your nose isn't that long, is it?
Right?
I mean, like that's way back there.
I guess if you've got COVID of the brain, this robot will detect it. That our new reality from where we were 6 months ago. I can't.
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
Take me home.
And they're saying the nose thing is not that accurate because you might have a false positive, and there's a lot of false positives being given now. So you wonder, okay, well, we're saying we have, I don't know, what is it, 5 million some cases? How many of those are false positives? I don't know. There could be a lot. There could be tons. And we're finding out so many different things all of a sudden, like as we talked about earlier, the fact that the deaths, only 6% of them have been attributed solely to COVID-19. 6%, which means 9,000 or 10,000 people have died in this country from COVID. 94% of the deaths have had some other morbidity involved, some other extenuating circumstance. You know, whether it's heart disease, renal failure, respiratory failure, all kinds of different things that have killed people. And we've attributed them all to COVID-19.
And because of that, you may have lost your job. Kids aren't in school.
Right. Right.
We aren't able to attend functions like sporting events or theaters or restaurants. We can't see people's faces, which, as we learned in some cases, is a good thing. This is going to affect us for generations.
And then you've got the threat from Joe Biden. Well, I'm willing to shut it down again if necessary. I'll shut her on down again.
Come January, and we have coronavirus and the flu combining, which many scientists have said is a real possibility. Would you be prepared to shut this country down again?
I would be prepared to do whatever it takes to save lives, because we cannot get the country moving until we control the virus. Right. That is the fundamental flaw of this administration's thinking to begin with. In order to keep the country running and moving and the economy growing and people employed, you have to fix the virus. You have to deal with the virus.
So if the scientists say, shut it down?
I would shut it down. I would listen to the scientists.
He would listen to the scientists. He would shut it down. And which scientists would you listen to? Because there's not consensus by any stretch of the imagination on this. There's a lot of scientists saying, go back to work, go back to school. Okay? This is crazy. There's others who say, yeah, we went too fast. You should shut it down. So who do you listen to? Which ones?
And which Joe Biden do you listen to? Because he's got the commercial that shows the empty football stadium saying Trump put us on the sidelines.
Which it was his party that put us on the sidelines. It was his party that forced Trump into doing something like shut the economy down. They were screaming and yelling about the fact that he hadn't done enough. And so, finally, he shut it down.
As did most governors.
As did everybody else. But he kind of set the stage to where, okay, yeah, maybe there should be some closures. And then he only wanted that for what, 2 weeks at the beginning?
Remember, he wanted.
Then it was going to be done by Easter. Done by Easter. And then when Easter rolls around, Fauci's like, no, I can't do anything now. We can't do anything now. I shouldn't make fun of him. He's got to have surgery on his nodules, his vocal nodules. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
probably should make fun of him.
You're not making fun of him. You're just
right. Just imitating him.
Right. It's a clear example of how he speaks. That's all.
That's all that is.
So right. So Easter became Memorial Day, became Independence Day,
right?
Became now Labor Day, back to school, football. I mean, let's just shut the country down for 9,000 to 10,000 deaths.
And now they're saying the kids shouldn't be in school. The Democrats are yelling and screaming about the kids going back to school. That's so irresponsible. That's too irresponsible. You can't be going back to school yet. Really? Okay, you want to do school at home? And then if you do school at home, you've got to agree not to follow along with your kids' curriculum. Don't look and see what's going on there because you're going to be shocked and stunned at what they're being taught. So this whole thing was manufactured by Democrats. It is still being pushed by Democrats. They're still the ones who are saying don't open anything up, don't get the economy going. Some of them have said, Rahm Emanuel's brother, Ezekiel Emanuel, with the Lives program, Full Lives or Complete Lives, whatever that was.
Complete Lives, yeah. He
actually said in the beginning that it could last for 18 months. The shutdown should go for 18 months if necessary. Can you imagine, had we listened to people like him, 18 months? That's insanity. I mean, you wouldn't have any you wouldn't have any big business owners for that matter. You'd have everybody going out of business, except Amazon. They'd probably be the only business standing afterwards. How do you stand after an 18-month shutdown? Wow. I don't know. I don't know how that happens. So, thank you, Democrats. We are where we are thanks to them. AAA, and they're still trying to push everything on Trump. They're still trying to blame absolutely everything on him. Let's play that empty stadium thing again that Joe Biden produced over the weekend.
Standard, we're going to be in the 60s. Enjoy the game.
It's crazy.
Now, to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem.
Empty stadium after empty stadium. Look at all those empty seats. Thanks to Donald J. Trump. Remember when he said nobody should play football? Remember that?
Totally.
Remember when he said don't go to the beach? Remember that? Totally. Remember when he said stand on the sidelines, America? Get on the side. Let's get back in the game, says Joe. Really?
No football is Trump's fault.
Biden-Harris. Are you kidding me?
But if we get back to normal and Trump's pushing it, then Trump's not taking it seriously.
Yep.
Can't win if your name's Donald Trump.
And again, he's the one who just said he'll shut it all down again. He's the one who
Joe
said
Biden.
that. Not Donald Trump. Joe stinking Biden said that. I tell you, the lies and the hypocrisy, it's too much to take. All right, here's something else that's really tough. You know what hurts a lot is when somebody puts a period into a text.
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many times I broke down and wept openly when people have done
and
that.
you're a big texter, so you
Big
you can
texter.
really identify with
I can relate
this
to it
specifically.
And when people put a period in a text, it scares the crap out of me.
Is that why you don't respond to my text?
It scares me right off my phone. I have to throw my phone down.
That's what does it.
Yeah.
I've got to stop.
Watch the periods.
Sorry.
Multiple studies now have found that the very basic act of putting a period at the end of your sentences while texting could drastically change the way your recipient reads your message. 2016 study out of Binghamton University found that texts that ended with a period were rated as less sincere than those that did not.
Oh, I'm always sincere with you, man.
One-word texts with periods were understood as more negative than responses without.
What in the what?
It's so bizarre.
Well, this is this wuss culture.
Inclusion of the period in text responses may be perceived as abrupt by recipients. Wow. Couldn't it be received as, I don't know, good grammar and good English and good punctuation?
Oh, there's no such thing anymore, man.
While some old-fashioned communicators see this as the beginning of the end for communication, the studies conclude that these changes represent more of an evolution of the language as we know it.
Evolution? Try
devolution.
I can't ever.
Devolution. De-evolution.
Yeah, how is that?
I don't know.
Anyway, we're spiraling out of control, and I will just point out that my last, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 texts that I've sent to you since you last responded. And only 2 of them had a period. So what's your excuse for the other 11?
Those 2 scared me so much.
Is that what it was?
It made me so uncomfortable that I threw my phone down and didn't pick it up again.
So when I said, never mind, Glenn will be in tomorrow, period.
Yeah, that scared me. That
freaked you out?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. So.
Okay. Well, my apologies for that. I didn't mean to do that to you.
Finally.
I'm really
well, now you know.
Sorry.
Now you know, don't you?
Now I know.
Okay. Scaring me, man. I can't handle that.
Right. Well, okay. So going forward, when I send you a text,
no periods.
Leave the periods out, and you will respond.
Right.
Correct?
Yep. Presumably, yes. Presumably.
Got the sniffles now?
A little bit, yeah.
You okay over there?
A little bit.
You want that robot to do a little COVID test?
No, thank you. No, thank you. I would never let a robot do that. Never.
Oh, no, not ever.
I mean, I barely let a human do that, but
I can't.
Certainly not a robot. Because you just don't know when that arm's going to freak out and jam it through your brain, kill you dead, go right through your skull. Yeah, that hurts.
You're right. And we've seen Terminator. We know what happens. The machines rebel. Game over for your brain.
That's right.
I don't want to take that chance.
Remember that tool that went up his nose and into his brain, and he was like, and then he had to pull that thing out of his head?
Is that Total Recall?
Yeah. Total Recall. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger's been a part of so many documentaries, it's hard to keep him straight, right?
It is. But it was the documentary when he went to Mars, and he didn't realize he'd been to Mars, and so his head was all messed up.
Weird women up there, too. I
very
remember
weird.
that one.
Yep. All right. Tomorrow we got to tell you, Greta Thunberg.
Oh, yeah?
She's gone back to school after a year of climate activism. Yeah.
That's a big step for her.
Big step. Maybe she'll learn that you don't put periods at the end of your sentences when she goes back. Let's hope so. We'll see you tomorrow.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.